All right, everybody, welcome back. We've got week 4 of the Unstoppable League. Two amazing teams going at it head-to-head here today. We got Stun Gaming Mythos, currently 2-0 in the standings and in their record book, and Conduit Esports Kraken. They're 1-1. They're looking to get a win here and jump up in their standings and knock down the undefeated Stun Gaming.
Yep, and I am depressed because last week we had the spec bug, so we were not here. So, but it's fixed now, supposedly. So we'll see what happens when we get into game eventually. But looking over these two teams, Stun Gaming, obviously the one who is currently on top. Pretty solid players from what I'm seeing. I was looking at champ pools earlier, and it's your class. There's a lot of meta champions in there, but I will say, as they are playing with 2 subs tonight, they have Stunned, Ultra Ego, and Grumpy Pants. Not Grumpy Pants. Ultra Ego plays Kled, and I kind of hope we get to see that because I love me a good Kled player.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kled's also good into, like, specifically Aatrox as well, who's been absolutely rampaging all over the meta currently. Kled's a good matchup there. He's also pretty decent into some of the other meta top laners as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's banned at least in second phase. If he plays a decent amount of Kled, and if it's not, like, it counters a lot of the good stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in some capacity.
I definitely agree with you. Grumpy Pants looks like he plays a lot of meta stuff, so nothing really too, like, jumping out in there. And then on the other side, we have Conduit Esports, which I believe, Darter, we have casted Conduit Esports before.
Yes.
I can't remember when.
Yes, we have, yeah.
No, but I think we're going to get started
At
with
some
draft.
point. I don't remember when. I think it was last split Unstoppable. I think they had a team in there. I think. I could be wrong. I know they play a lot in Aegis, and I've seen them in BOL as well. That's where I recognize their org from. They have a ton of teams over there, so yeah, they've been all over the place.
Alrighty, well, we're not just quite ready for the draft just yet, looking at the screen. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it to our predictions here for the desk. We have some crazy predictions here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All three of us agree with the 2-0 for Sun Gaming, and then Hyper, as per usual, predicts the upset in a interesting fashion. And DPC, you want to share why he picked Conduit?
Not entirely sure, but I know he likes to hilariously sometimes play devil's advocate with us and just pick it anyways. But I mean, at the same time, Conduit, if I do remember correctly, the last time we saw them, they were a pretty good team.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be hard, I think, with the way that Stun Gaming likes to play. So that's something we're gonna have to look into at some point as we're going over the course of this series. If Conduit manages to take a game off of them, I think that's huge. Obviously, that means we're all wrong in some capacity, except for Hyper. So there's that. But moving on from there, I'm pretty excited because we're on a new patch this week too. We are on 14.4. So
yes,
got a lot of changes happening. I do believe Smolder got some changes if I remember correctly, and then
he got some adjustments to make his they keyed him more towards scaling. Although we are getting into draft right now, so we'll see Solange on the other side of that. But yeah, on the line of Smolder, they retooled his scaling. So his early numbers are lower, his late numbers are higher. His passive like max HP true damage scales now with stacks. It doesn't scale a lot, but it does scale. It used to only be the execute that scales. I think the big things from this patch are the Maokai nerfs that didn't really do a whole lot. The TF nerfs that helped not really at all. And then the Varus nerfs and Kalista nerfs, which did something, but those two champions are still very prevalent. The Kaisa buff makes her feel better, but she's not great. Senna first pick, not surprised at all.
Woo!
This Senna is one of the strongest champs in the game, in my opinion. I think if she's not banned, she's definitely first pickable. Very flexible, especially with how strong Seraphine is and how like many options you have in the bot lane. Nautilus is super good with her. You can play, and then there's Smolder, which is
the response.
I'm not surprised at all.
No.
If more people could play Kalista, I do think like Kalista Renata is a decent answer into Senna. It's just hard if they play like Nautilus with it. But I think it's an okay answer. Smolder just help matches scaling, but nothing matches Senna scaling. But it gets as close as you can, aside from playing like Zeri or Vayne.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll see what they go with here. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there's Seraphine.
Yep, I think take that away. It's a potential takeaway. I mean, either that or Stun Gaming would pick Tom Kenshi or Nautilus. Literally saw both options earlier today in the LCS and in the LPL as well. Blitzcrank actually going to be the lock-in, which I think is pretty spicy. I like that. I like that. And Volibear also coming in as well. So lots of potential dive coming in too, especially when it keep the Smolder down to not get that scaling point, which you have reiterated that there are like break points that Smolder should get to. Now, I think you said 225 by 25 minutes. Now, Elk apparently in the LPL made it 19 minutes. So
if you're really good with like farming and making maximizing the queue, you can get it before 20. The benchmark you should look for is like 22 minutes. And that's
22?
like on pace. Even if you're like in a losing matchup, you should be able to get it by then. If you're losing hard, then no later than 25, really, because then at that point the game's just gonna go on too long and you probably lose. I do like the Wukong lock-in. It helps with the wombo that they've currently.
There's the Kled ban you were talking about.
Yeah, there's the Kled. Yeah, it's really good into a lot of stuff. So I'm not surprised to see it go away because this is an assumed Volibear jungle, I would imagine. TK's banned away, which is interesting. That's I would assume that's banned for a Seraphine mid potential that they're thinking about, or just top lane, depending on what they want to pick. I do think TK is very limited in his usefulness outside of pairing with Senna, just because he doesn't do a whole lot right now. But TK tops can still be good. There's a Yone ban. That's hardcore telegraphing Aatrox, on 4. So they should ban Aatrox, which they do.
Response.
And because you're banning 2 of the hardest counters to Aatrox that they play. And then Taric, so that does put the Seraphine in mid lane. Okay. Yep, so that explains why they banned the Tahm Kench. And I kind of like the Taric here as well. As it's hard to play against Blitzcrank because the ult isn't instant, but it's very good to play against Dive, especially when you have like Seraphine Smolder.
Yeah, and we have Aurelion Sol being locked in on the other side for Stunned Gaming. This is a preferred pick of their mid laner.
Yep.
Pretty obnoxious champ. Like, even though like they made
It's
changes to him, he's
yeah.
still pretty stupid. Actually, even more stupid than he was before
Yeah,
now.
because he stacks faster.
Yeah, it's so much faster, and it's an absolute plague. And I've played against it, and it's not fun. And Ornn will be the final lock-in. Shen is the typical response, one of the typical responses. You have Gwen on the other side, but
Yeah.
I mean, Conduit's
Gwen,
top laner
Fiora,
does.
Camille, that's
Hold
interesting.
on, Urigot would be pretty cool,
Yeah,
actually.
that would be a matchup we don't get to see a whole lot. I think it's not bad here. It kind of fits with your theme of counter dive because Urgot E can do a whole lot against of these champions, but they're gonna go with GP. I like that more than Urgot because Urgot's a little bit weird for the 1v1 in top lane. You'd imagine
Yeah.
he actually wouldn't get prio unless he plays a very specific way. But before I talk way too long, I do want to get Cilantro's thoughts on this draft.
All right, so looking over this draft real quick. First thing that comes to mind is this is 4,000,000% NA League of Legends. We're going to be in this match till 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Given Stun Gaming's composition, as well as we got Smoter on the side for Conduit. They picked up the Chadrick for support as well as Seraphine. And I'm really happy to see the gangplank get picked here because I was getting really scared seeing a full scaling comp with a Wukong jungle. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting very scared because as we know, Wukong is a very early aggressive champion, wants to get ahead early and push lane leads. When you're going up against all scaling champions and you have scaling champions of your own, that's not really as possible as you may want it to be. Volibear, I love seeing that pick. One of my favorite champs. I honestly thought it was potentially going to go to the top side because he's kind of been a little bit more buffed for top lane surgency recently.
Yeah.
But no, I like to see that it's in the jungle. I think it can scale pretty well. The Blitzcrank though, I kind of a little confuzzled with. Probably would have rather seen a Nautilus because when you pick the full scaling comp, Blitzcrank is a champion that wants to roam around the map a lot and get free hooks down, free agency. Not really anyone on your team is going to be looking for fights though, so that's kind of why I feel like the Nautilus to help with the set appeal would have been a little bit better there. Obviously, this means that with no TK on the board, we're going to have a farming Senna, so that's going to be some damage coming out across the board. But it's going to be interesting to see this.
Actually, caveat to that, it is possible this still could be
Farming
fasting.
Blitzcrank.
Yeah,
it could be. It would be super spicy. Yeah,
First
I totally agree with you,
Blitzcrank.
Yeah, full AP electrocute Blitzcrank.
Oh no!
Oh god!
No, but yeah, Cilantro, you're 100% right. I think Nautilus is definitely better for them there because with Blitzcrank, you're kind of like, okay, we want to play for pick, which Volibear does very well. But then we have Senna, Aesol, Ornn, so it doesn't quite fit holistically. Now, Blitzcrank is never bad against champions like Seraphine because if you hit them with a hook, they're one shot. And the only thing you're really worried about, the only person you're worried about hooking as Blitzcrank is Taric and Wukong. Everyone else is one-shottable for sure. But if you hook one of them, that can cause problems for your own team. So they're gonna have to try to find some funky hook angles because I doubt Smolder is gonna be that far out of position to be able to get hooked past those two.
Absolutely. Now, as we noted that, especially on the side of Kraken, that they're going for full hard scaling. Because Senna scales obnoxiously, Smolder scales obnoxiously, Gangplank on 3 items, kill me. That's pretty much how I feel about that.
He will, yeah, he will.
They will. But if this Wukong doesn't get those advantages for these laners, it's gonna be all for moot, unfortunately. Because if they get too far behind, it's gonna take 30 minutes to come back and potentially, scale into where they need to be and come into the game. Now, there is an extreme possibility that maybe Conduit Esports decides that they can get a little behind, but still somewhat keep up, which we have seen before where teams are really down and still put up a really good fight. So that itself is also a possibility. And on the flip side for Stunned Gaming, as we know, they're definitely playing for more of we're just gonna pick out people. Especially that's kind of what the Blitzcrank instantly telegraphs to me. I am extremely concerned about where with it being with the Senna, kind of like how you guys were as well. So because like if he leaves the lane alone for too long, then I imagine that we're just gonna kind of sack the bot lane. Yeah, and they're just going to sack bot lane and just kind of like get advantages with the Aurelion Sol, who will be able to land those absolute meteor ultimates 20-25 minutes into the game. And it will not be a fun time for anybody.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of what we've been seeing creep up in pro as well, which is just heavy index into scaling. Because both of these teams scale very hard, and almost every single champ on the screen out of the 10 of them is a scaling champion. I think the only two that aren't are like Volibear and Wukong, but with the Drain Tank Volibear build, that still scales really well. I think you could argue Blitzcrank doesn't scale, but he's always useful. Like, and every hook champ scales. It's like Lee Sin doesn't scale, but if you're good at Lee Sin, it doesn't matter because you'll still be useful late game. So I think that's where Blitzcrank sits for me. But like all these champs, especially the carries, like every single one of them is a scaling champ. You're not expecting a Smolder to do a whole lot early. You're not expecting Senna to do a whole lot early. Both Ornn and GP are just trying to farm and survive. Like this Ornn is gonna go down maybe 20 CS and just doesn't really care. And then Soul Seraphine, they're both one-shotting wave and then doing anything but be mid lane.
We don't have cleanse as Smolder.
Yeah, I think the cleanse on Smolder is a little bit unnecessary because you're only really cleansing an Aurelion Soul ult. Because like if you're in range of getting center rooted or getting Volibear queued, you're dead anyways. like the cleanse won't save you.
Sure.
But the Aesol ult is something that is you do have to worry about and what you would be taking cleanse for. But I think holistically it's not a huge deal. What I'm more concerned about is the Senna not having cleanse because you're playing against Taric Seraphine. And if you get hit by Seraphine ult, you're guaranteed to get hit by Wukong now, like his full combo. Whereas before, if you get hit by Wukong knockup, the Cyclone, and then the Seraphine ult comes after, you can still cleanse it and get away. But now if you can get hit by any number of CC and you can't get out of it regardless. So I think that's the more thing I'd be concerned about is Senna not having cleanse. But also the bigger thing is neither of these supports taking exhaust when there's definitely exhaust.
A reason
targets.
to, yeah.
Yeah, on both of these teams.
But that's kind of. I think it's just we'll see who utilizes their summoner spells better as the game goes on. But we're a minute 45 away, so it's Dragon Soul time. I refuse to be wrong, so I'm gonna go first and say Chemtech because you always say Chemtech. I'm gonna take it from you.
Do you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
I'll go here. You know what? I'm gonna be the one to say it this time. It's gonna be a Cloud Dragon. It's gonna be Cloud.
I'm gonna go Hextech.
All right, so we're going for the spicy Drakes. I mean,
Hextech is so aggravating to play against.
Yeah. But that'll do it for us. We'll come back in about a minute's time. We'll be in for game 1 between these two teams. So don't go anywhere and drink water.
Well. Last time on Dragon Rift Z, we saw Evercode running up to the bush where he might get 5v1 here.
There's no way, right?
If he hooks someone, I think he just dies, no?
He's just standing there, menacingly. The Rem is okay as well as frog emotes are coming down.
There's actually no shot, right? They're just kind of sitting.
Oh, he's gonna ruin him up! They're going for
the shot!
Evercode is in shambles. Needs to pop. No, does not need to pop the flash. Gets out.
The Tarek E whiffed. If the Tarek E hits, he dies there, or at least that's the flash.
100%.
But yeah, the Tarek E's just short, so ends up getting out with his life. We'll have just enough time to back and be there in time. That does sort of telegraph where jungle's starting, if you assume he doesn't just run topside. Both junglers are starting bot pathing up.
I would assume so in this instance. I mean, Gangplank is just super good to start snowballing. Because once those barrels start mollywopping everyone, then it's kind of game over at that point. So I kind of agree with this pathing up the top side. Now this might mean the junglers might meet in the next 2 minutes, so this could be pretty spicy. I think Volibear has the faster clear, unless I'm smoking crack. Oh.
It's a little faster, yeah, because Wukong's clear got nerfed, and then Riot never buffed it again. And every single Wukong player has been crying ever since, because his clear is slightly slower. But it won't matter a whole lot.
Oh, hold on. Level 2.
Imagine if I landed earlier.
I know, right? With the glacial.
Well, but we know that Ipsy can do it. So, oh yeah, that reminds me. So I was looking at the Tarek's name. So it is pronounced Ipsy, like Ypsilanti, Michigan. For those of you who know.
Now, I have a better question. Is it Great Rib Man or Grey Tribe Man?
Great Rib Man kind of sounds.
I think it's Great Rib Man.
It's got to be, right?
I think he tried for Great Tribe Man, but just didn't have enough
characters. He can't fit.
It could have been just like Great Tribe Mate or something. Good trade happening here on the top side as Great Tribeman will now back up. I think, like you mentioned, I think once Gangplank gets the Sheen. Oh, okay, that hooked the minion. Actually, I'm actually kind of surprised that Senna and hold on a second. The root will.
He doesn't go for the hook.
They have a lot of push. Yeah, it's because Smolder has D-Blade and not D-Ring, and when Q starts and W start.
Okay,
yep. He went D-Blade with Q instead of D-Ring plus W, so he won't have push prio until he gets 25 stacks.
I was wondering, but my mic was covering his specific item, so I'm like, why are you not pushing as hard? Yeah, it's a mic gap.
It is, yeah. It's an eyes diff. But,
eyes diff.
I do think in most scenarios, D-Ring is better than D-Blade.
Right.
Just because the early damage on W is so crazy. But after the nerfs, it might be more even, especially if you have Fleet and not Comet. The W damage matters a lot less because you're not playing for that same level of poke in lane.
Yeah.
So, and I've also been seeing pros now go both and not exclusively D-Ring. So it's not like initially where D-Blade was just worse. I think they're both viable, but you just sacrifice early push going D-Blade.
So we had a little glimpse from where the junglers are at the moment. They didn't end up meeting topside, but Volibear's mid actually. Should just walk out of this. The root does land, so not too much will happen there. So the junglers didn't end up meeting. Neither of them really went for getting the top side. The lane was kind of in a really weird spot, which is why it didn't end up happening that way. So Ornn was looking for a reset just a second ago as we're actually. Oh, okay, I was ready to immediately transition. I saw the way he was walking. I'm like, I'm ready. But some more trading happening on down here.
Great root and Gunny. The stun doesn't come from Ipsy. They could capitalize this. Nah, Tarek heal is just pretty nice.
Smolder healed. Interesting.
Oh, that is true too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he panicked a little bit there because he was. Senna was doing a lot more damage than I think you would expect. She was kind of chunking there, but with Tarek, you're not really ever at danger, or in danger.
Orange?
Evercode going forward, gonna land the knockup. Ignite's gonna be coming down onto Ipsy. The stun's gonna go end up wide, trying to heal up here. And Kobe Pence with a nice gank here is gonna be able to find that one. I think Gunny forced to burn the flash. Is not gonna be able to get out, but I believe
almost flashed into the hook.
Yeah.
looks like we're not entirely done. So there was a solo kill on the top side, which is where my directed cam was. It was just Great Tribeman getting out damaged by the Ornn passive as
we're getting Ornn gapped.
Yep, it's just the classic Ornn passive doing a lot more damage than you think it was. It was close. It's just cooldowns were not on Great Tribeman's side. But then on the on the bot side, my apologies. We saw an engage from the Volibear and getting Senna the first blood, or not the first blood, they're getting the kill rather. Ornn got first blood top side. That gives them a 1,000-ish gold lead 5.5 minutes in. The grubs are started on the other side of the map. I don't think we're pinging it. I think we're trading Drake. Okay, yep, the classic. Trading it for Drake as always.
Yeah, this Senna has a lot of gold already, which is definitely something you want to look you want to have on a scaling champion like that. Same thing with Ornn, but the gold lead is non-existent because you are playing against a GP and still down CS. So that solo kill just helps him stay even. But GP is one of those champions like TF where you just get free gold from farming. So if you have a CS lead, it's more than it normally would be.
Oh, hold on. He's dead here.
Inside gang. First Macau's gonna commit the Seraphine ultimate. Error code might be in a little bit of trouble here.
No damage though.
Comes Ipsy, maybe one more stun, but they're gonna turn on to Tier, who's able to get away. Maybe not though. Is forced straight into a wall, eats a turret, shot Black Eyed Peas, but it is nothing happening in the mid side. Grumpy Pants finally cleans up the dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
No! I was wrong. It is a Cloud Dragon. Ipsy's gonna flash forward with the stun. Grumpy Pants have the flash online, so he's able to get over the wall. So burn flash for flash there, not too bad.
Yeah, trading flashes, mid flash for jungle flash, it's pretty worth it for Grumpy Pants because once he gets fixed, the flash matters a little bit less. Like IP's looking a little bit there, but doesn't have anything. Actually flashed there, so that's no flash on Wukong.
Immediately, the Black Eyed Peas started playing in my head. Congratulations, you've gotten me to overhear the music from whatever reason. just randomly, just the second Darter said it, just started playing music in my head.
You just have like, yeah, one of those songs just plays Great Movement again by Goku.
It's actually really nutty sidesteps. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, his movement's been really clean.
Granted, I mean, not to impugn Doku's ability, obviously. You can kind of tell when the Taric Stun's coming.
It's very slow, yeah, but still, the movement's nice.
The movement's nice.
He's got good movement, because there's a lot of players that just walk into it, so.
I've seen it. Oh, another knock-up. Ornn probably still wins this.
Does he?
Barrel.
Well, if he lands his barrel.
Barrel! It's a lot of damage. Triben should be able to just Orange eat that back up. He's actually going to force the default out of the Ornn.
If he got his passive off onto the Ornn, that could have been a lot closer, and he potentially could have gotten Flash from Ultra Ego.
Do they stop this? Wow, they do.
Yeah.
All right,
he's still up 20 CS top lane, which is to be expected. Does back for a cull now. So once he's 160, once he has 162 CS, we'll have that finish. A little bit late to buy a cull, in my opinion. But
yeah,
like GP, so.
That would have been one of those ones I think you start with or get on first back, but I mean, just had the gold for the Sheen anyways, so not like it matters, and we are being A-sold at the moment as we flip back to the bottom lane.
Yeah, like I said, this mid lane is just both of them spamming abilities on wave until they run out of mana, then they base and come back.
Yeah.
ASO will have a much easier time stacking here in this lane.
I agree.
Than Seraphine, because Seraphine has to hit all of her abilities, whereas Aesol can just throw his suck on the wave and then she'll just get hit by it.
Yes. The Aesol classic. Walk up, press E, die.
You press E, press spit on them, and then walk away.
Yeah. So, Volibear is currently spotted on the mid side of the jungle. That pink ward that is there did spot him by the blue buff. So, really good ward placement there for Conduit. It's not a ward you see terribly often in our league in particular. I kind of understand why. I mean, it's just really
he pinged it. He pinged the ward. He didn't clear it though.
Yeah.
He wants his blue buff first. I don't know if cleared at some point. I was like, is his camera just like not there and he didn't see it? But someone pinged the ward, so they know it's there now.
So we have Grubbies coming up in 30 seconds. I am expecting a fight to break out to prevent Conduit from getting these 6 grubs. This will be absolutely massive for their pushing power. Really dangerous in this case if they don't getting it. We have both supports here. Looks like both AD carries are going to be in the bot lane. So we could have a 4v4 here over the next minute or so.
And it can impact globally with her ultimate.
Yes, that's true. So that is, she doesn't even really need to be there in this instance. We do have a little bit of a 3-stack up here in the top lane. We should be kind of like getting. Oh yeah, that actually hit.
4v4. Wow. That's great damage on the Tri-Man. It's gonna commit the cannon shots. It's gonna be a nice knock-up off the Cyclone on the Ultra Ego, who pulls out the Call of the Forge God. It's going to be able to knock up the Wukong. Can he find the pick though? No, not entirely. It looks as though team might have trolled him a little bit as they moved to start the Void Grubs instead of aiming to win the fight. And now, actually, is there a shot for Conduit to come in and take them? It's not looking like it. So they did get away with the objective after all of those trying to
okay. I have thoughts about that. I think we're thinking the same thing.
What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is, why are we burning 2 crucial ultimates right before that objective spawns, knowing you want them most likely?
I think it's fine if you kill him. I think the big thing is the Taric stun was aimed the wrong way, so it didn't actually hit him. And then also not timing Cyclone in the Orin ultimate, so you get hit by it, and then tanking 2 tower shots, you can actually commit for the kill. Because the thing is you try to get Orin flash and then you peel off, but while you're slapping Orin, you are losing runs. So it's a little bit of an overcommitment, but if you kill him, it's not the worst. Because and also they don't contest that, because as soon as you see the second one that low, there's no point going in there.
Yeah.
At best, you die and get 1.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold the bug. Oh. Goes to the hook on the clone there.
We'll burn the stun lands this time. They're looking to clean up Grumpy Vance, but Tear is there to help get the pick onto Ipsy. Now they're going to move in towards this dragon.
It's free.
Still 3 members. They're not going to get this up just yet. Black Eyed Peas.
Wait, do we have Seraphine ult?
The Seraphine ultimate's going to land onto the back line and force the flash out of Doku, but here comes Grumpy Vance going unstoppable on top of the team.
Good ult.
Flash out of Miracle Cow, and that's a great falling star on the Black Eyed Peas, and he catches out the clone too, Error Code. It's a knockup. They could try and slay this jungler, but they're not feeling confident with their health bars. And all of the members are forced to retreat. And here comes Ipsy trying to get back into this fight. Could be a Turner if they decide to commit, but they're opting not to. This could be a free dragon for stunned now. Yeah, it's looking like they are going to end up giving it.
There's no universe where they can go in with how low Black Eyed Peas is.
Yeah, they just didn't have Wukong out there, so as much as and they didn't have Smolder ult either. I think he used his ult to clear bot wave. So then the only ultimate you have is Taric ult has to get burned early, obviously, and then Ipsy still dies because he's in 1v4. You can't follow up. Merciful Crow's late, gets there, uses the Seraphine ult, but no Cyclone, no Mom to follow up. And at this point in the game, you don't have the damage either to do anything. The Ace ult whiffs, it just hits the clone, doesn't hit anyone. But it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to get them off so you can get the Drake, which they get. It is a chem tech, I think.
Yeah, it never fails, like you said.
Oh my.
Yes, it is
a chem tech.
It never fails, just like you said.
It doesn't. It never fails. It doesn't. And then next game, I'm predicting chem tech, so I'll say it now, and then we'll see if it happens again.
I'll let you have it, because I needed this one after being wrong 3 weeks in a row, basically. Yep. I'm feeling pretty good about finally getting one right. So we're 13 minutes into the game. Can
we check Smolder stacks?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. But we're fighting in the mid lane.
He doesn't have 125 yet. He's at 72. That's very low.
Oh, here comes Grumpy Vance. Black Eyed Peas maybe overextending this a little bit. Terra should be able to get over the wall. And no, Black Eyed Peas goes over the wall. The cannon barrel shots are coming down too. They might be dead.
No way!
The Falling Star is committed as well. They're trying to fight this. A great stun onto Ipsy. They might be able to at least find the support. The Smolder is going to come down for a little bit of peel and flash over the wall. Pass Ipsy for the fade away. But Terror is running him down. Sucks him back in, but can he get the pick? He's not ticking away just yet. He's barely living for now, but will eventually fall to Terror on this Acel. Putting in absolute work. Error Code looking at the barely misses the hook onto Merciful Cow, but does it matter? No, these players are extremely weak. They might have to run away. This is going to be a lot of tower damage potentially. Oh no, they're actually going to give up going up for the tower.
There were a few misplays in that sequence.
Yeah.
I think what happened is Doku accidentally A-clicked the Blastcon.
Think I couldn't tell because it's one of those chaotic moments.
I think he accidentally A-clicked it. Someone definitely accidentally hit it. Because Black Eyed Peas was rooted or stunned or something. He was CC'd. I don't think he could have hit it. He might have hit it himself, but I'm pretty sure I think someone hit it for him.
Yeah, I don't know. It even could have been Smolder from over the wall. I think.
Yeah, he was close enough to hit
it. Is he not? Dang! It's just one of those things where. Actually, we're fighting here in the ball lane.
of things. Oh, Ipsy burning away off the ignite damage.
Goku
Goku feeling
does
he
win
has
this.
the range, looking to force out these players. And I just want to say, like, we have a farming setup. Look at that CS gap between the two of them.
Yeah, it's almost 10 CS a minute. It's like 8.2 CS a minute right now or something like that coming out of Dooku for this one. How many Senna stacks? We're at 46 Senna stacks right now at this moment, so feeling pretty good about that where you are. I think you kind of want close to like 50 at this point, but I mean...
He's only at 100. Yeah, he's so far. Gunny is quite behind pace on his stacks because he'll hit 125 at around 18 minutes. And your like benchmark time is 15 minutes for 125. So he's a little bit behind. Part of that's because you can't really. It's hard to trade in this lane with your W, which is where you get part of your stacks from. Is just W poke and queuing and trading and farming with your Q. So if you're not able to do the trading part, then it takes a little bit longer.
Well, my man's is in danger up here.
Right on the side, man. He's gonna be able to flash and get away.
He almost flashed into it. Okay, we do not flash in straight lines here, okay? We don't do that. We almost flashed in a straight line and got hit by the Orno. And then Gunny did the same thing. He flashed in a straight line bot lane and almost flashed into a Blitzcrank Cook a while ago.
He's looking for a lane gank here, potentially.
So that was a casual PSA from Darter, everybody.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. That doesn't hit? What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's gonna be chunked down. Doku forced to burn the flash. They recognize that the jungler was in the presence.
Yeah, if he gets hit by that W, he's dead for sure.
Yeah, 100% there. Looks like we have the upgraded Assault ultimate, and he's doing Assault things. Yep, forced to flush Merciful Crow anyways. The Rift Herald was started on the other side of the map. This should go over. Yeah, about 6,000 health right now. No one's going to respond to it, so Gangplank might get a ward on it. Oh, nope, he just puts a ward in the river instead. So a free Rift Herald.
You were about to say something, and then I cut you off, but...
I don't remember, honestly.
Okay.
No, that's fair, that's fair. Last thing I do want to say is this is a good pace that Stun and Mythos are doing right now at the moment.
Sure, yeah.
They're not like forcing their advantage, they're like slowly keeping up their tempo right now, like garnering pushes when objectives are bound to happen, and then mitigating those leads slowly over the course of the time of this game. Acel with 2 kills, Senna has a bounty, you know, purely based off farm alone, and the first Chem Tech is currently up, so this will be soul point for Stunned if they decide to go for this. Now Chem is a good soul. It's not the most popular one.
Really good on with their team comp though. They have Volibear and Ornn, which make great use out of Chem Tech soul. Especially Volibear makes great use out of all the buffs it gives. If you're going the Drain Tank Volibear build, which I'm not 100% sure because he does have Gauntlet.
Oh,
Ericode might be caught out here.
Ericode not gonna get stunned up.
Flash.
Flash lands a bird on the
hook this.
Damage with the hook coming down too. Needs to get the Seraphine ult off before they could die potentially, but the Tark ult was forced during that. So now this is looking like a great engage angle for the side of Stun. Ericode should have the hook online in another about 4 seconds here, and that's probably going to be their cue to look for something. Maybe he's aiming for Black Eyed Peas here. The Vision's going to push down. The Dragon is already dropped to 7k. Tear coming in from a backside angle. They're going to look to turn onto this Acel, and that's going to be free space for the team of Stun. Boulder comes down as well. The Unstoppable was not enough.
Oh my damage, Batman.
He's able to get more. Doku is looking to slay Black Eyed Peas. Has the damage. One more auto. Will end up doing a tear. Re-engaging onto Gunny. Looking to burn them down. The flash might not nearly be enough as he can't fly away from this dragon. Merciful Cow will end up falling. And while the jungler may be dead, this could be a free dragon. I'm pretty sure Doku can do more than enough damage to take this one. Soul point for Stun off of an amazing team fight.
Woo!
Yeah, free dragon and a free baby dragon at the end of there. That now 4-0 on Acel. That will definitely have the Seraphs on his recall timer. Also, Senna picking up some kills there, so we'll have their second item as well, which I'm assuming is an Edge of Night based item.
Yeah, I believe so. 2,400 gold on the Acel. That will definitely be. Yeah, I was just about to add that on. There is Ornn solo killed. Great Tribeman. Just using that Ornn damage, Ornn damage passive.
He went MR item first. He went Hallowed Radiance first. I think it's first. Yeah, and then which he bought and he also has a Bombies on top of that, so he has 2 Bombies items.
Something like that.
Because I'm pretty sure Hallowed Radiance is AP Sunfire, or like MR Sunfire, I should say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Could be wrong.
It's something like that. New Ornn items. What can you say? That hook will go wide. Objective bounty is now active.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Hollow
Radiance is AP.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the again new items. What can we do?
What is? I don't know if that's the item he has though. I'm doing some quick.
This is Hope Adrift, which is the Ornn item.
No, it is. Yeah, the Ornn upgrade is not Hollow Radiance. The normal item is. I'm pretty sure. I think.
I'm pretty sure as well.
I think I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't play tanks. So
I don't either. See, this is where like my friend Ghost would come in handy. He only plays tanks, and we could definitely use his help for some of these tank items. But so we've crested over the 20-minute mark.
No, it's Unending Despair. That's the item he has.
Oh.
That's the item he has. Yeah.
And he'll probably build into the Hollow Radiance later.
Yeah, he's going for Sunfire instead, I think. Oh no, that is Hollow Radiance that he just completed, yeah. So he's building full MR.
Interesting.
Quite interesting.
Giga Chad.
I
shouldn't say full MR. He just Ornn upgraded his MR item, or armor item.
Oh, he might be in a 1v2 here. Grumpy Pants is coming up. Call the Forge God committed. Will it land onto anybody this time? Not this time. Aerocoder's roamed up from the top by 2. Is going to force it out of Seraphine. The Flash has already been committed from Great Tribe, but now
Seraphine's dead.
Caught out in the middle of almost nowhere. Doku keeping the team up for the meantime, and the Smolder Ult's going to go completely wide, hitting absolutely nothing, and it's a 3v3.
Look over the wall.
Bars are not an advantage. Doku coming up from the mid lane is going to land a nice hook on the Gunny, but it's just a little bit appeal as he wants to help his team to escape here. Now, Baron is online. They could be looking for some sort of positioning as Black Eyed Peas and Merciful Cow have fallen. I don't know if they're going to go for this and have enough damage yet.
No, they don't do it fast at all at this moment. If Aesol was here, I do think they would do it. But without...
He could have TP'd, but he decided to do the correct play, in my opinion, which is just pressure this bot tower.
100%.
I don't know if he'll be able to get it. He might.
I think he does.
He can.
Yeah, he definitely will with this.
With the void buff, yeah, he 100% can.
Yeah. Which is a lot of gold off the map. Yep. 700 gold for Aesol.
So we are at almost 8,000 gold now for this lead. There's no way they just kill this dude here, right? Yeah, actually they do.
Caught out farming the wolves.
Oh, we missed them.
We're at least gonna chunk him down, but Tear's gonna suck him back in. The clone goes back over the wall. This one's gonna be able to root up Tear. Ipsy might be caught out. It's a lot of Senna range. Gonna root them up, but maybe they're looking to go into this 80 carry now. That's a nice fallen star coming down in combination with Grumpy Pants pouncing on top of them. This 80 carry is gonna be caught out in the mid lane too. Nothing you can really do about that. Great flash from Merciful Cow, timed that perfectly, but is not able to land the ultimate in response to that as well. But now we should 100% have a Baron take.
Yeah, no, that's free. Just Black Eyed Peas getting caught out in the jungle there. That's what started this whole thing. Gunny being mispositioned, what caused his death.
Very far forward.
Yeah, especially into this comp. I mean, Volibear just beelined it right for him and just... Oh, that was a gnarly hook.
Oh, Ipsy getting...
Yeah, they had a ward over the wall, so they saw him walk into the red pit. He just yucked the hook and found a free Taric, which will even further secure this Baron.
Now, I've spotted something here, boys, right?
What have you?
We have Spear of Shojin on the Smolder.
This is so fed. Yes,
now,
that's
correct me if I'm wrong. This was nerfed not that long ago. This is exact build.
Sort of?
The AP part of it was, yeah. Shojin is still good. But like the Haunting guys like Leandri's Riftmaker stuff got nerfed because they nerfed his AP ratios. But the Shojin is still good.
Indeed. So we're 23 minutes. We are at 164.
Oh no!
Oh, he's dead again.
Oh no! The big dragon chasing down the little dragon. We all know the
why was he worth
is
310 gold?
I don't know.
He just died like 2 minutes, like less than a minute ago.
Riot Games. What are you doing right now? We're losing our sanity right now.
Either way, that's a 14-stack Magi's 4-item Aesol.
Yeah, this dude's giga fed.
We can say dragon diff now.
It's certainly, yeah. Both in actual dragons and champion dragons.
As they're going down for this Chemtech, as a matter of fact, Volibear will get that objective. This, I once again, I kind of wish we could see how much this Baron power play has been getting them. I'm gonna call it the G Fuel Baron power play, and no one can stop me.
They haven't got a lot of towers up it, but
they got 3.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
They got the bot lane tier 2 before it. They got the mid. Yeah, they haven't got any towers yet off it.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, I haven't. Oh, how about that? Alright, well, Taric just almost died. There's not much really to say about that one. This hook will hit the minion. Now we should actually get a tower here. We're playing really far up as a Smolder.
I mean, we're all things to secure tower, which is I respect it.
I feel that. I respect that.
I respect it. I respect it.
It's like when I pop my Lux Beam just to clear lanes, you know?
I do that.
Or meanwhile, listening to Payphone top lane.
I like that. More gold ends up going over. It's now 12,000 gold at the end, and we should be almost done with this Baron, right? We're almost there.
Inhibitor will end up falling. Ericode maybe looking for a hook here onto one of these champions. Might be able to find.
I mean, whoever gets hooked just dies. Yeah.
DB coming down. The jungle will end up falling. It's a 5v4 in this bot side. Going in this Grumpy Fan sounds a great try, man. But in the meantime, Ultra Ego landed a nice TP and a double knockup with the call of the Forge God. Flash is coming out left, right, and center, but it does not matter. This will probably be the next to fall as well as Ipsy. And this is completely game number 1 under wraps. Ericode flashes into
we're styling.
face. Absolutely, just a fine, great try, man. They're gonna get an ace for their worries, and these inhibitor Nexus turrets will fall as well as the Nexus. So far, 20-1 scoreline. As the only person to end up dying was Grumpy Pants, probably gonna hit an earful from his team for being the only person dying.
Yeah, ruined the perfect game. No towers, no Drakes lost. 3 grubs were lost and 1 death, but that's pretty much it. Everything else was a bit of a clinic. 26 minutes. And,
that was clean.
Yeah, a really clean game start to finish. I mean, obviously, like, there's a few things here and there, but I mean, when an Acel and Senna are frying that hard and you just have every objective advantage known to man, it's a bit tough to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, they just played the scaling game exactly how they needed to.
Yep. They got ahead early, and when a scaling comp gets ahead early, it's wraps.
I mean, that Acel was just disgusting. That Acel was disgusting.
Yeah.
Probably one of the more disgusting Acels I've seen in quite some time.
I agree.
I want to see. Yeah, gold diff was 24. I'm not. That graph is not surprising at all to me. The 24. I mean, he was just frying the entire game. Ascended damage is immense. I mean, the ults were dealing a quarter of everyone's HP, not named Wukong. But even he was getting one shot because he didn't have time to get any items online. I think
first game graph kind of reiterates why I was really worried about Wukong in this draft pool.
Yeah, it's really hard to you don't really have a lane to play towards, and the only lane you have to play towards is top lane, which is fine, but you're playing against Ornn, so even if you throw him behind, it doesn't do a whole lot. And the Ornn even ended up getting 2 solo kills on GP, and at that point, like, a fed Ornn is just unkillable, especially if he has flash, so you can't gank that lane anymore. So you're kind of lost a little bit. I think the biggest eye-popping thing on this graph is the gold difference in both mid and ADC.
Oh yeah.
Where and also especially farm difference as well.
There was a nutty farm difference. Senna had a bounty like 50.
Yeah, she was 102 and had a 200 gold bounty. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty impressive from them as a whole. I'm pretty excited to see game 2. Either they keep the same thing or just decide to change it up. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I think that will do it for us as we get ready for game 2. Don't go anywhere. We shall be right back. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
back. What? Are we both saying hello? See, we didn't coordinate that before the break, but hello, we're here for
MF
game
ban.
2 between these two teams, and we're well in the draft. We're having an MF ban for whatever reason, when we were just saying right before we started to ban that champion. So Senna will be taken off the table, and we're taking Graves off, which they did last game too, but very, very interesting choices. So I feel like we're going to get probably Varus first picked here, or Maokai. Okay. That's a pick that you were mentioning did get buffs this patch.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very
nerfs, but they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
they didn't do anything. He's still 54% winner in support, so still broken.
Broken. So we're gonna have the Maokai for first picked here. We can assume it's jungle or support. Most likely support, as it is pretty obnoxious. But I feel like you would have to pair it with Varus at that point. If they decide to go that route, for the extra layering. Maybe Ash would be pretty okay with it too. A Mumu being potentially.
Wait, we banned MF and we're picking a Mumu?
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
That's like the bread and butter. Other than Jarvan, that's one of the champions you pick with Misfortune to make her very viable in current meta, because she is really strong. She just has she struggles to land all of the ultimates. Ashe into Maokai, I'm not a huge fan of. It is a lot of CC with a Mumu, but all you have to do is pick Samira and game is won. Yeah, if you pick Samira and take Cleanse, it's a very simple game from here on out. I think that would force Conduit Esports to put a Mumu jungle and pick Nautilus, and Nautilus Ashe into Maokai doesn't sound that good, but they are going to be
doing
TF.
ADTF. We might be doing ADTF. That is a possibility. It looks like we're going to also stick on the bully board, so it is Maokai support. Okay. Oh, man. It might be ADTF bot with Maokai, which is a pretty gross combination when I'm thinking about it out loud now. Interesting. So we see if Conduit decides they want to respond here with either a jungler or a mid lane pick here. I mean, you can't really, because TF is a flex. Yeah, or they're gonna pick
go
Nautilus. Okay.
Yeah, it's either like I said, if they pick Samira, you force them to pick Nautilus here, but they do it anyways. I don't like TF bot into Ashe Mumu Nautilus. I think you just die on repeat because you have no mobility except for like building Stormrazor, which I'm assuming he's gonna go Shiv first item or Kraken first item. I didn't think Stormrazor is his best first item because of the MS, but he has to take Cleanse now because you're playing against a Mumu Ashe. Cleanse doesn't help against Nautilus, and you don't have any mobility built into your kit to get away from Nautilus or Mumu. I like this. I actually like that a lot. It's so good. It forces this TF, I think top lane, I think, is the only viable place to put it at this point. And they should pick something for ADC and mid. That Yone is probably into the Aurelion Soul, I would imagine. And then they'll telegraph where this Twisted Fate is going with this last pick, which I assume it's TF bot lane. In my opinion, it should be TF top, and they should pick an AD carry. But they're it's TF AD carry,
Okay, so they're gonna go ahead and stick with the Ornn in the top lane. Volibear also the same coming out from last game, but we have 3 new picks in the Maokai, Twisted Fate, and Yone. Is this our first ADTF? I think like Unstoppable specifically. I think it is, right? No one's played it yet. I could be wrong, but we'll look back, check back on them a little bit. Let's go ahead and see what they go ahead and final pick here. They are having the Urgot. Probably okay. They end up locking it in this time. So in the top lane, interesting. Okay. What are your thoughts? I remember in game 1 when they were hovering it, and you were kind of giving your thoughts on it. Now you can give like your full elaboration if you wish.
Yeah. I do want to obviously, hello Cilantro, welcome back. We didn't see you before draft, obviously, but yeah, with this Urgot, it's like it's not a counter to Ornn, but it can be good if you know how to play the matchup. The main issue with playing Urgot into Ornn is Ornn just buys Steel Cap's Warden's Mail, and you just can't do any damage to him anymore. Like actually zero. Those 2 items hard counter Urgot, so you have to get him ahead early, which you can do with the Mumu jungle. My only concern is for Conduit Esports is if this Asol dies, they have no damage.
Yeah.
And yes, Ashe can do damage, but not against Maokai Volibear Ornn. She does not shred like frontline like that. So
and you have a
I
Yone
think
that can get to you.
Exactly right. When there's that much dive threat and there's a TF, there's a Yone, there's a Volibear, and a Maokai, like this Ashe is one shot if they don't find a perfect fight. And same with this Aurelion Soul. Like I said, I think if this Asol gets Dovan, which is very possible, he is going to be one shot, and then they lack a lot of damage, especially if this Urgot's playing to side lane like he should be. And then like on the flip side with Stunned Gaming's comp, they have a very even spread of damage where even if you kill TF or you kill Yone with your massive CC wombo combo in Amumu, Nautilus, Asol, where that person is CC'd for literally 15 seconds and they can't move or cleanse out of it. Because if you cleanse any of Amumu's CC, then you're just gonna get slapped with a Nautilus ult, and then there's no point, and there's no way Yone has cleanse. So I like either someone is getting chain CC'd for 15 seconds, but if that person dies, you still have to kill the other two because they are equal. They're equal threats. Obviously, Yone and TF are the two big ones, and you really want to kill those two. But even if they're dead, you still have a lot of threat in the other three, even though they're mostly frontline tanks.
Yep. Cilantro, your thoughts on this draft?
They had me in the first half.
Oh, no, there we go.
No,
you're good. you cut out for the beginning, and I was like, wait, I think you're muted, but you're good.
Gaslighting me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They had me in the first half. I thought this was gonna be a disgusting Ashe Amumu support like bot lane. Which I definitely would not be wanting to be playing against. I'm not a big fan of the ADTF. I don't know.
Agree.
I just don't really like it.
Right.
And so it's gonna be interesting to see how Dooku can pull it off here, especially with a Maokai support.
Yeah.
We saw Tear go absolutely crazy with the Asol this time. Could have opted to first pick it because it was not banned. But instead they decided to go into the second round before picking mid and go for the Yone up against the Asol. Now I think this is smart. You can shut down the Asol early, prevent that scaling. But we once again have a pretty heavy frontline presence with Maokai, Ornn, Volibear, and Ashe, like you guys said, does not do enough damage to stop that. I don't really think that TF is going to do that much damage against the Mumu Nautilus, though. So it's really going to be, I feel like, funneling a lot of resources into this Yone.
100%. I 100% agree. You can go ahead, Darter, and I'll finish up.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. I think I agree that I don't like ADTF. Now, that's not me saying it's not good because it's unbelievably broken.
Stupid.
I just think it's not great in this game. Because ADTF, like TF can't play against Ashe, Nautilus, and Mumu in a 3v3 bot lane. Like you just can't move. And your TF, you don't want to be taking cleanses when you're playing ADTF. You want to take Ghost. It's so strong on that champion. Like the amount of MS you can get with Storm Razor plus Ghost, you're untouchable. But when you have so much point and click CC, it makes it so hard to play. And like I said, I think the best place for it to go would be top lane in this game. And if they put TF top and then picked an ADC that could pair better with Maokai, something that's a lot more aggressive that can take cleanse easily, he's gonna take cleanse on TF because he has to. I mean, you're playing against Ashe, Aurelion, Solomumu. You're forced to take it. You don't want to, but you have to. And then that cleanse, like I said, it's not gonna help against Nautilus CC. You can't cleanse any of it except for the auto attack route. And then you're also running into the problem of, well, what do I have to cleanse? Most of the time, it's going to be the Ashe ult that comes in first. But if you cleanse that, then you have two Amumu bandage tosses, an Amumu ult, a Soul ult, and then all of Nautilus's CC. So, like, how much value does cleanse really give you? Like, if you're getting hit by the Ashe ult, you're probably dead anyways, even if you have cleanse or not, depending on where it hits you from. Because most of the time, what you do with Ashe ult is you just throw it, like, on cooldown down mid lane and just hit them until they burn cleanse, and then you go in on them because they don't have cleanse anymore. But like, and you don't even have to burn all of that on just TF. Obviously, you can use only half of that on him, and he's still CC'd for 10 seconds, and then you can use the rest of it on Yone. So they have a lot of CC. It's just their damage is lacking outside of Asol, like I said. So if Asol dies, I think they're going to struggle in that department. But I do prefer their comp, honestly, in this game.
Yep, me too. We're about a minute and a half away from spec delay. So, Darter already called Chemtech for this game.
Yep.
I will actually like this to be an Infernal game because Yone with Infernal is stupid. And then Cilantro, what's going to be yours?
I think it's going to be a Ocean Drake.
Okay. Pretty safe pick, but that'll do it for us. We'll share more of our thoughts about these drafts when we get into game 2. Can Conduit pull it back, or is it going to be a quick 2-0? Don't go anywhere.
Alrighty, everybody, we are on the Rift, and we have a wild Black Eyed Peas taunting a Yone in the mid lane.
Yes. He is just standing there menacingly, crying both on his champion and with emotes.
I think that error code has learned from wandering in the jungle last time and will not be taking any steps forward this time around.
I think it'd be really cool if he just walked up and placed a word in front of this Ashe. No, but I'm not surprised that they're 5-pointing this time. I actually am shocked that Conduit are 5-pointing.
Yeah,
because you have a Mumu Ashe Nautilus. Like, there's no way we're not invading with these 3 champions. As much as they have Maokai, TF is very one-shottable. You get probably both of his summoners with those 3 champions. And like, you're really the only level 1 you're worried about is Yone. Because the Wind Brothers, as I'll call them, because the other one is not PG-13. They are very strong level 1 just because of their Q, especially in like skirmishes early. But with the amount of CC you have, it's a lot. But Ultra Ego is getting slapped up here by Urgot. Shotgun knees.
Yeah, it's a good old shotgun knees. We love that. First Q on Yone ends up landing. So we're expecting great things out of Merciful this game, especially because he will be pretty much all of their damage on the side of Conduit. So we're hoping that can utilize this A-Soul, who is not an easy champ to play, I will say.
Well,
hey, not easy for me, so I mean, we're already aware of our skill differential. You're
look
like,
at them and you spit on them.
Oh yeah, you right. I'm playing the champion wrong. I'm actually
the hard part about him is aiming your ultimate, because you can look really silly a lot of the time. But once it becomes the size of like the entire North American continent, it's pretty hard to miss.
Yeah. So both junglers started on opposite sides of the map, so they will be on opposite sides of. I'm gonna say opposite sides of the map a third time, I guess, for whatever reason.
Yep.
For when these scuttle crabs spawn, so no action should come out of that. Now, the Grumpy Pants being this way, Dooku could realistically get this. So hold on a second, we're actually fighting. Eric's gonna go ahead and take the front. Gold card will end up landing. And that's kind of how I expected this lane to go. I mean, we're here in the mid lane as well. Kind of just
the bandage toss lands onto him. Merciful Cow coming in to help for a little bit more damage. The second bandage toss is going to land to Tear. Not committed Flash just yet. May be able to commit onto Black Eyed Peas though. Flash is for it.
No way, we go for this.
He nearly gets away with it, but does force Flash out of the jungler. So that's somewhat solid.
Woo. That was
He definitely
spicy.
could have got that kill. I'm not sure how, but he definitely could have.
If he just played better, you know?
I'm not a Yone player, so I don't know, but it felt like that was killable, which is why Terra went for it. I mean, you still trade flash for flash. I mean, it's not bad. I'm just, in my brain, I'm like, that could have been a kill. I just don't know how. I don't play this chap, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually don't even play Yone either.
I'd have to, like, watch it back. If we had a replay, I could probably tell you, but I don't know.
Mad up the budget so we can have
Might have a dead Merciful Cow, though, here. First blood into the mid lane onto Terra. They're already getting that Yone ahead early on, like we wanted them to in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Aesol died, so
yep.
Immediately the champion's behind.
Yeah, when you have point-and-click CC and then Yone's damage to follow up on that, and also, like, Volibear's damage should not be slept on early. He does a lot early on, especially to a champion like Aesol. Now, I think Merciful maybe could have flashed the Q, but if you flash, then Volibear flash Qs you, so is it really worth the flash? I don't think so. I think you just take the death and accept it.
Yeah.
Because if you flash, he's just going to come back in 2 minutes and kill you anyways. So you might as well hold the flash. I do think it's the correct play, but does die, which is massive for Terra. I'm surprised he's not opting for tier 2 boots, instead opting for a recurve bow boots and a refill pot.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Now we got a lot of pings here on the top side as the Void Grubs will be up in the next 15 seconds. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because that's exactly 1050 gold is what his item combination is.
Gotcha.
He has 93 gold in his inventory. Nope, he could have afforded it.
No, all right. Interesting choice there. The Grubs have now spawned at this moment. Looks like Grumpy Pants will get push advantage since his mid lane is ahead and Ornn is pushing on the top side at this moment, but will trade Drake for it. So this Hextech Drake will go on the other side of the map. Really good heads up play and good recognizing from Conduit to know that they can't fight this right now. So it's better just to get the Drake instead and just kind of keep that dragon stack that happened in the final game. We got some pings on it though and trading in the mid lane in the process, so that's pretty spicy. Yeah, I do too. And it is an ocean Drake.
We changed the game to who can predict the second dragon of the game.
See, Darter would have won that last split.
Last split I would have won. I was doing that every game, every single game, all throughout playoffs. I was predicting the second dragon.
Then meanwhile, Hyper and I are either just flat out wrong or
oh, the Faith Field! They commit that.
It would have hit if he didn't get pulled.
Yeah, I agree. Barely, it was like a centimeter he got pulled and it misses.
Pretty nuts.
That's sad. He kills if that hits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually going to be eaten by error code. They're going to commit the Ignite down 2. Going to go 2 for potentially 2 here. Doku's going to get slowed up from the Ash Scatter Arrow. Maybe trying to commit a kill here. The blue card comes down, trying to get at least something, but double kill for Gunny on the Ash, getting ahead very early. Meanwhile, top side, we have Grumpy Pants committing into a top side gank. Forge God's going to be able to knock up this Ergot, and they're going to get the kill over to that Volibear, get him scaling into the game as well. So good, decent trades across the map, but a 2-0 Ash is going to be really hard to play against now, especially with that CS lead.
Yeah,
it's gonna start snowballing a lot. I mean, she's sitting on 1,500 gold right now, so that's a pretty big buy. Could be a tier 2 boots, could be a Noon Quiver first. We'll see which one they opt to go for. It will just be a Noon Quiver, not even tier 1s, just a Noon Quiver and recurve bow. If I personally love tier 2s on AD carries. It's so, the movement speed is so broken, especially when you're playing Ashe. But yeah, some ADCs just don't care, and they'll just buy everything but boots. Now it depends if he has magical footwear. I don't know.
I might be able to check.
He does not. He has approach velocity biscuits, so he should definitely have at least tier 1s right now. However, he is very fed and will do a lot of damage in 2v2, and he's winning anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Level 6 actually as well on this Ashe, so that arrow can be used quite aggressively.
90-second cooldown, baby. Definitely absolutely worked to use it off rip. We got a little bit of nonsense happening mid, but as we're here in the bot lane, just casual farming. Yep, we're yoning. That's pretty much all I'm seeing every time it goes up there. It's like we're just popping the soul inbound, and we're just going forward because that's what the champion does. Now, how much are we betting that I will say that Yone is a smooth brain champion after he misses everything and still kills somebody?
Still kills Aesol, yeah. Listen, all I'm gonna say is Yone is a negative win rate champion. Don't ask me how, but he is. So he's very weak. Every time I see the champ, it looks very broken. But I'm not a game designer, so what do I know? Because he's like 48% win rate or something right now. So according to stats, he's not broken. He's actually weak.
Wow. So that means they're gonna buff him soon, and I'm not excited for that.
No, they probably won't, because he's like a 0 levels of win rate where it's negative, but the champ's OP.
Oh yeah.
It's not as egregious as Azir though, obviously, but
completely out of left field. I was talking about it in a Discord earlier about Azir. Actually, we might be getting a fight here. It's a good W and a good knockout, but that will negate the whole trade. But I was talking to someone about the new Azir build, the Grasp Azir build that we were talking about. Yeah. And someone said it feels like just like a newer updated of what Rise used to be.
Yep.
And I kind of thought it was like, you know, how interesting would it be that this bring Rise back into the meta? Because that would be kind of something. We haven't seen Rise in a minute.
I agree and disagree with that, honestly. Like, because Rise obviously is not an on-hit based champ, whereas Azir is. There's a lot of right-clicking. Yeah, all of your damage comes from soldiers, and your Q obviously does a lot too.
Yeah.
Whereas Rise is just a tank that spams EQ.
Oh, Hair dodges the bandage toss. Black Eyed Peas committing ultimate. The Falling Star's gonna come down too. Yep. Can they turn this though? Fate Sealed maybe commits. He's gonna stop that tower just a little bit, and Tear gets his second kill of the game off that one. There's a lovely little Ash arrow as Ipsy is coming forward. It has the dredge line, and Tear just has the movement.
Unlucky that whiffs. Also a solo kill on the top side. Great Tribe getting a kill back using the Fear Beyond Death. I believe that's what that is definitely what it's called. All right, and then we had a little two issue in the mid lane that unfortunately did end up going sideways. Yone landed everything and killed, so I can't say what I want to say as of yet. This will be the third other Grubbies going down to the side of Stun. Yeah, a little bit of cheese and happening top side, actually.
Yep, Lord Scott's going to come down. No ultimate for Triman this time, and that one's going to land the flash stun.
That was gross.
Grumpy helps out with that one. Ipsy lands the Dredge line onto Ultra Ego, and Black Eyed Peas is going in, but the flash away from Ultra Ego keeps him away. No ultimate on that Amumu, so they're going to look to go re-engage. It's a great knockup. We've got 2 tanks versus 2 tanks. Who's going to come out on top in this anime battle? Oh, Tear's coming up. No Fate Seal online this time around as is able to slay up the Nautilus. Can they be able to CC chain Black Eyed Peas though? He can potentially retreat. It's just maybe trying to buy a little bit of time, but it will be all for naught. Grumpy Pants picks up another one. 3-0 on this Volibear. Should be able to clean up the Void Grubs as well.
Yeah, they should be able to get the all 6 actually here.
Yeah.
Which is massive when you have a champion like Yone on in the map. And TF as well. TF can play side lane pretty well, but when you're playing AD TF, you don't side lane nearly as much. Especially when there's an Urgot in the game and an Aesol. Side laning is very difficult against both of those champions. Yeah. But I think Yone is probably the only one that can effectively do it into both because he can just kill them. Does actually go for the Bork first, which is definitely good in this game.
Oh yeah,
I do still prefer Kraken Slayer IE, but Bork is very common as well, and it's not bad at all. The champion has so much synergy with the item.
So as we just heard a few moments ago, the 3 extra Grubbies did go down. So that does give Stun Mythos that 6th grub advantage for the Void Mites that will spawn when they hit towers. We have the first Ocean Drake that's up right now. I'm actually kind of shocked that Black Eyed Peas didn't make his way down there to go for that, knowing that Volibear would have had to reset after the grubs. So I'm a little shocked that they might just end up giving this away for free. We'll just have to wait and see as time goes on. In the meantime, we have, you know, pretty good individual goldies everywhere in mid and jungle. We're kind of fighting mid and top a little bit. Definitely in top now, actually. Urgot's going kind of ham.
Has ultimate.
Oh, walks away into tower though, so we'll not end up getting it. Got a bunch of pings coming out of the bot lane. I think they're pinging that they are missing. I'm kind of hoping that we keep up this dragon pressure that we've had in this game so far. We'll get some force droppage. Yep. Okay. I was actually just about to say that the only reason they don't is because okay.
Let's go straight for it.
He has to flash that.
Yeah, he just dies.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
you could argue he could drop ult after, but I think he has to. I think he just has to flash the Fate Sealed. He probably just dies. I'm pretty sure you can Yone E Aesol ult. I don't know if you can. Again, I'm not a Yone player, but I think you can.
Chemtech.
It's Chemtech. Yeah, of course it is. It works every time. It's always the same soul.
Always the same soul. Wow.
Is it going to be always the same result in this mid lane, though? Nice Ashe arrow is going to come down.
Surely pop ult, right?
Missing, but they commit the ultimate out of Grumpy Pants there. Terra's forced the flash as they send 4 people into this mid lane. Trying to find something after that dragon, but not able to.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
I mean, we got summoners off Yone, which I think is not bad, you know.
Yeah, Yone clutch is very important.
Oh no.
We're doing Yone things.
Oh no. Merciful Cow barely gets out with her life. Oh, there's no way he TPs for this, right?
He's ulting,
oh, he's dead.
He's ulting there?
Should be dead here potentially. Ignite comes down, bandage toss onto arrow code. Does
my god.
That Ashe arrow. He does dodge the Dreadline too, but it doesn't matter.
This kid?
Going to ult him, and Black Eyed Peas is able to clean up arrow code. Lots of bot lane cryo for the side of Conduit, and I want to see them try to push this lead even farther.
Yeah, they can definitely take this tower. They don't have any grubs, so I actually don't know if they can. But Doku had to have been looking mid there because he ulted underneath their tower when there's 3 people there. So he had to have not been looking at his own champion. At least I hope he wasn't. He does go static shiv first, like I thought he might. When you're in a deficit that is very low damage, all right, Gunner, we're gonna buy tier 2 boots, yeah? We already have our first item. Yes. I was actually shocked when he like just didn't have any boots at all and already had his first item. You almost never see that, but again, like when you have approach velocity, you can kind of afford to do that because the bonus movement speed from that with Ashe, you basically permanently have the buff because you're always slowing people and running at them.
It's true.
So when you're winning, you're just like, I'll just go damage. I don't need boots because I can run them down anyways.
That's actually completely fair. Oh, we're arrowing this. Cleanse is forced to burn.
Yep. That's how we use Ashe ult.
Yeah,
just rubbing at them.
Yeah, that's literally how I play Ashe. Every time it's up, I'm just gonna send it. Like you just send it. Oh, hello, Tier doing.
He's trying to get ace ult.
He didn't get it though, but was doing Yone things and took 3/4 of his health bar almost. So that champ's normal. In case anyone
still has ult, can dive if he wants.
Is going to actually.
Yeah, Ace ult's respecting the dive as he should.
Wow, that champ is something else. Rift Herald disturbed on the
especially with
top
the lead, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. This was started a little bit ago, I think, knowing that like Ace will have to back off, and then I don't think they have full information of where Moo is. Doesn't look like they have too many people in that part of the map. But I'm just assuming that he had to reset. Will secure this. We're in a better spot for sure. For Conduit, they are in a much better position at this point.
Yeah,
this game than they were in the last game.
Yeah, it's an interesting one actually, because it's 2 Drakes for 6 Scrubs plus Herald. So it's a complete flip from what you would normally see, where it's like 3 Grubs, second Grub gets contested, but first one gets traded for Drake, second Drake gets contested, right? But this time, Conduit's playing full bot side. Obviously, when you have an Ashe that's winning this hard, you want to play towards it. So they got both dragons in this early game, whereas both mid and jungle are winning very hard. So you can play for top side Grubs and Herald much easier. So that we have a much more like side-to-side trade here for both teams, whereas normally we see the second set of each of these objectives contested.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoop, that hook will go wide. I don't think you even want to go in if that actually.
No, yeah, he's happy that missed, I think.
They do
Ashe arrow goes wide, but the bandage toss does not. Nature's Grasp is going to come down committed. It's going to end up on both of those tanks, so not really going to be able to find anything. Lots of ults committed before the dragon spawns is very interesting out of both these teams.
Yeah, because Nature's Grasp won't. Yeah, you're happy that one missed too.
50 seconds. Yeah, Nature's Grasp won't be up until 35 seconds after it spawns, and then Ashe ult will be about the same. It's about 10 seconds sooner. But like you're trying to hit the cleanseless TF with Ashe ult, which is that's how you want to use it. It just ends up missing. I think big things going into this next Drake are no flash on Yone. Yone just used TP now to get back here for this Drake. No flash on TF or Maokai, and no cleanse on TF. So, and then on the flip side, they're only missing Ashe flash. So Summoner's advantage definitely towards Conduit. But gold leads slightly in the favor of the other team, which I am so
Stun
sorry.
Mythos. Yeah.
Stun Mythos. I knew it was something Mythos, and I was like, I don't want to mess up the first part.
But they're looking to definitely get a pick here. The way that they were posturing about 10 seconds ago was completely implying that they were looking for the fight. And I do think in a full 5v5, I think Stun Mythos just wins because Yone.
Yeah, I would agree. Yone and Volibear are very fed.
Oh,
we're
TP out of this drive, man. Maybe they're gonna catch out this top laner. Griffin Fans not really having an angle to go in. Is gonna flash up from the wall this time. And Aeroscoot is already fallen. That falling star did so much damage. There's the call of the Forge God. It's a double knock-up as Tear committed the Fate Seal. Not yet. It's going to the people. That is a ton of damage. It's absolutely insane. Black Eyed Peas going up to that 80 carry. Goku will end up falling. But now it's just up to Ultra Eco and Tear. Does he have the dash forward? Trying to get onto Gunny. One more. Gets the shutdown.
God,
and that fight was all... It was looking like it was going to be Conduit, but Ultra Eco and Tear played perfectly.
Ooh. I think Tear waited a little bit too long on his ultimate.
I think so too.
But I mean, he hit 4 people, so it was not a bad ultimate at all. I think he just waited slightly too long. Does hit 4, gets 2 kills, gets the shutdown on Ashe crucially, so he's sitting on a lot of gold 1500. They do grab their first dragon of the game, put themselves at the gold lead is still exactly the same as it was before that fight, 1.5k, because a lot of kills were traded over. The Volibear shutdown went over to Asol. Asol got it, yeah.
All right, wow.
Shutdown onto Asol, shutdown onto Yone. Actually, Ashe had a 450 gold shutdown.
Yeah, she had a lot of gold on her. That's why the moment Tear committed to it, I'm like, he just gets this kill because Yone things. So that does put them in a prime position now to kind of start swinging.
So fed.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be gross in this fight. So we actually have ping timing onto the Baron right now. I think we're trying to rotate vision up that way. Maokai is headed up in this direction. They have 2 items on Yone and they have 1 on TF. They could potentially try it. I think they'll wait till after TF finishes the second item.
They need his first real item. Right now he can clear waves very well and they can get Prio for vision, but in fights he's still not doing a whole lot of damage with just static. He definitely needs that second item, which I'm assuming is a rapid fire cannon.
I think so.
It could also be a Storm Racer. They both have the same items.
This champ is balanced, guys. Oh, we have TF ult up here too.
Yeah. Plus 300.
Could not even tell. Could not even tell.
Actually, there's 4v4 here in top lane.
I don't think that they want to give this. Doku's going to be able to dodge the bandage off. Aerocode's going to be a little bit late. The main still is going to go end up going wide with a flash.
Still dead.
Aerocode's going to be able to get up Gunny on this 80 carry. The Nasal Draft is going to end up missing his Black Eyed Peas goes over the wall with that Yone. Yone winning out in that 1v1. That's the definite power of Force.
Gets it right? He gets it.
That's absolutely crazy. But meanwhile, if Steve should end up falling, they're going to commit that Rift Tail down too. And honestly, I think Tear's a little weak, but they could go for the Baron.
Was
he doing donuts with the Rift Herald?
Yeah, so they made it easier to drive early, but he used that early timing to drive it the wrong way.
I think I watched Katro earlier today mess up Rift Herald, except in bugs. Oh my lord,
that's a lot of Void Mites.
Tonight we steal their towers!
I think that's all they get. They should go back for Baron, or at least go back to base, because
they're
sitting on a lot of gold. I think they're actually down in gold in terms of items, because every single one of them is sitting on 2,000 gold basically. So they definitely need to recall before going to this Baron, and they will, and that is a full. Oh my god, this is so fed.
Absolutely.
I don't know what at this point, man. I mean, what do you do? I mean, just every time
we saw Gunny attempt to live, but he had a great well-timed flash, but just gets then since he flashes the Fate Sealed, gets CC'd by Maokai and reshot by Yone. And I don't know if you saw it, but when Yone when Tear took his E back, Black Eyed Peas hit him with a Q, so he followed him all the way back, which is why they were fighting 1v1 out of the fight. And I think that mattered a lot, because if Black Eyed Peas was there, I think they do kill Doku. Or at least it's much closer if they're all in the same spot and Yone just takes his E back, and then he's not there initially. But still, I mean, 6-0 on the Yone almost has his Infinity Edge, will do a lot more damage then.
Yeah.
That could also be a BC, but I would imagine it's IE. Yeah, no flash, has cleanse.
Gonna be caught out here.
What are you doing, dude?
Just commits. Maybe he was thinking that the Ashe was gonna flash over the wall.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so they should obviously know that Ashe doesn't have flash because she used it in that last fight. Yeah. But that ult is good if you think Ashe has flash. I do think Gunny should have saved cleanse because he said they're 100%.
Dredgeline.
Oh,
Probably gonna end up having that one back. They're committed to Black Eyed Peas though here. Gonna boot them
Baron now.
the tower, not gonna be able to get out. And
he did go Stormraze for second.
Mid lane
Nice.
turret falling. I think they're gonna opt to go for the mid.
They're not gonna do Baron. Interesting.
Yeah, Yone's splitting, so their damage is very low without him.
Yeah,
Once TF gets RFC, they can definitely do it. Because ADTF shreds objectives once he has 3 items.
Yeah.
But until then, they're kind of twiddling their fingers. He is very close to RFC. He is like 200 gold off 300
200
gold,
gold,
something like
that.
Yeah.
Oh, Terror may be caught out. Oh,
Nice
they
flash.
just end up missing somehow. Was it?
Thought
they
it was
were
flashed.
He flashed over it, yeah.
It was like, wait, that was a weird interaction.
That was a great flash.
It
was
frame
so
perfect.
good.
Frame perfect.
Yep. Now, what can also happen if you do that is you just flash into them.
I think what's gonna end up happening here is
never
Tribeman.
got
No
ult. Doesn't have
ultimate for
ult.
Tribeman. Can Terror get away though? That's a massive shutdown. You don't want to give over. Oh.
Not Terror got 2, but Ultra Ego's being run down to the top
fried.
side. Yeah. Does
A1.
have flash. Well, she's not.
Yeah, don't use flash. Don't use it.
That's just what happens, you know, from top side sometimes.
The only way you flash there is if you're trying to buy more time, but you don't need to, so you just hold flash because it's more important for you to have it in fights.
Yeah. It'll be good for this
And by fights, I mean not a 1v4 in top lane. Because yes, that is a fight, just not one that you want to burn summoners for. Does have the upgraded Hope Adrift, which is the name of that item. Is building towards the Hallowed Radiance once again. Opted for still holding on to the Bomby Cinder for that item. Does have the Frozen Heart second, which is very good into this team, especially without Fed the Ashes and Urgot in silent if you're ever against him. But we saw how much damage that Urgot does. He almost beat Terror would have if he had the ultimate available.
Yeah, the Bramblebus is going to come in pretty hot for him over the course of this game. Mumu just also bought one. Maokai has one as well. So a lot of Bramblebus kind of being spread around the map right now at the moment. I don't expect Baller Bear to get. I think Spaller will probably end up finishing the Spirit Message, I would assume.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But from there, I mean, we're just kind of rotating vision up on this top side. We got the Scuttle already. We just took out the pink ward. I think we placed down a couple more wards in this area as Error Code is doing. Nice. Yep, TF's on 3 items as well, and we got some time here. I do think Great Tribeman wins this if he fights this.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's very close because Ornn is Ornn, but he definitely has the damage to take that 1v1 with Black Cleaver Sterix. So, and has ultimate as well. Both of them going to look to TP towards this Baron once it gets started, I would imagine.
I would imagine as well, as things are getting spicy up top side and bot side a little bit, as Great Tribeman is creating pressure on that bot side.
So much push.
Yeah, on the flip side, Yone is also doing the same thing on the top side of the map, so we're kind of in an awkward lull of just lanes being pushed in by both sides to kind of try to create as much pressure as they can. Yeah. If they catch him out here, does have flash. Okay.
Well, they're gunning for him. They're gunning for him. One bandage toss. All you realistically
just delay.
There, he's delaying, trying to buy a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Who's going to be coming in? The Dredgeline's going to come down, but that's a 2. Baron or Muff. Yone. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Whoa, that damage.
Yeah, that's Terror's HP gone. Has to be able to flash that Dredgeline. The Nature's Grasp is going to root up Tribeman, keep him from coming in off of that TP. But now you are at execute range. So you want to start running away whenever possible. They're looking to turn on the Gunny here. I like this, trying to be able to find that 80 carry.
See this TP they do.
Shut down.
That's really bad.
Ego comes in.
Oh wait, it's Ornn. Never mind. It's Ray.
Going to be coming down. Will be able to knock up. It gets on to 2, and that's Gunny's lane. It's a double knock up on the Ornn dash. Can they be able to contribute to even more kills here? Tribeman is putting in absolute decimating damage, trying to find something, and Ultra Ego forced to flash away. Tribeman flashing forward as well, and here comes Bear once again. He's back with full HP this time, and he's looking to hunt down all of these kills. The Fate Seal comes down too, and he is going absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I thought that was Yone TP, and I was like, oh my god, the TP's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
And then Ornn pops out, I'm like, oh my god, the TP's so good. Because if that's Terra's TP, he's 100% one shot.
Yo, he just dies.
He's just dead.
But it ends up not being an end, which delays for so long for the rest of his team to come in, do a lot of damage as we saw, but the Ace ultimate Yeah, I mean, same. But then the Ace ultimate, as we saw, did so much damage in that last fight. Just imagine if he had a couple of more kills, that immediately turns that fight and just it's over before it even.
Yeah, like I said, he's all their damage, and all he did was press one button and almost killed both their carries. We also saw an example of what happens when Yone's not there in that fight, because when it's Volibear, Ornn, and Maokai, they're kind of wet noodles slapping people around. They live for a long time, but they don't do a whole lot of damage. But as soon as Yone shows up, they get absolutely one-shots. And there's the IE completed. Does have a chain vest to what I'm assuming is going to be a Guardian Angel, or could be a Death Dance, but I would imagine it's GA.
Oh, God, Death Dance on Yone. I remember when people used to build that last year and it gave me nightmares.
I imagine it's GA because he's at threat of getting one-shot in a chain CC, so I think GA is probably better, even though it doesn't help you against... Like, there's an argument for Ma, but I think you just go GA and then Ma. He does have the Negatron cloak actually, so that could be Wit's End.
Oh, that doesn't hit?
It should have.
Wow.
We see it's stunned, positioning towards the Baron. They are potentially looking to give up this dragon. It would be their third chem tech though, so that could be something worth.
I think they just start. I think they just go Baron.
They can do whatever they want. They can flip it.
I think Mythos just go Baron.
To see who's gonna commit to what. Gunny's gonna move to the dragon, so can start that up. And where's Tear going? This is realistically where Stun is gonna be going. So far, great position.
What? We're not flipping this?
The Kraken has already started. It's down to 5k. You gotta go if you're gonna go now. And the Forge God comes down. Will it be able to land a nice knockup? Only on to Tribeman, but that could be a crucial pick in this fight. This falling star doesn't really
oh my goodness, that shred.
And they do shut down the Maokai, not before the Nature's Grasp does come down immediately and tears in the backline. Announced to his name, tearing it up, and Ixie will fall. It's a clean ace for the side of Stun. They should be able to go for the dragon, but no, they want to run it down bot side. They're looking to kill the inhibitor.
HP.
God, it looks like they're gonna try to end the game here, I think, but good
How are they full HP?
I don't know. They were literally sitting in Acel spit. How did they do that?
How are they full health? Why did Yone one-shot 16 people on my screen at once?
Why doesn't my Yone and my ranked games do that?
That's what I'm saying. There's
my
no way
Yone
they can end
doesn't
this
do
game.
that. They definitely can. They can. They have 80 TF. They can end the game.
And they have 6 scrubs.
Yeah, 80 TF, 6 scrubs, and a Yone. This game is over.
Oh yeah, all right.
Take this game 2-0. One last ditch Ash Arrow, and you know it was looking scary. You know, Merciful Cow.
Yeah.
Those fallen stars were doing a lot of damage. But you know, Stun found the angle. They needed to end the game, and they ended it
these
there.
damage
before
grabs
that
are illegal.
Oh no, I'm scared to see the damage.
33,500 damage on Yone. Take a guess to what
30-minute game.
Yeah, take a guess as to what the next highest damage was on in the entire game.
16.
It was 20 by Urgot, 20,000.
And yeah, then Urgot was putting in work.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of damage, but like Urgot did 20,000, Yone did 33,000. Next most on his team was Volibear at 16,000.
Jesus.
Like, look at these damage graphs. Like, it's mental. I mean, when Yone gets fed in a game like this where he can shred everybody, it's lethal.
And by God, did he do exactly just that? That champion is insane. Those are the Yones I see in my games in this instance. Like that's why I permaban that champion. But like now I'm like permabanning Talon because he's dumb. But like it's just there's too much broke in the game.
There's too much. There's too much.
I love it.
Yeah, I do want to give credit to Conduit's bot lane though. They played very well in that game. They took the advantage of the matchup that we thought would give them an advantage in bot lane, and it did. I mean, they were 3-0 to start. They had a good gold lead, put this TF behind. But when when you hit tab and there's a 405 Yone on your screen, it's a little bit scary. And then also like Doku did a good job getting back into the game as well. Played a few key ultimates in those team fights to grab a few kills, got back, actually ended up ahead in gold. And then obviously like Grumpy Pants just getting the lane ahead that needed to get ahead and just continuing to go back to it.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see that again. So wow, I mean that's a 2-0 for the Knights. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That moves.
That was a quick one.
Yeah, Stun Mythos now moving up to 3-0 in this in the league. As I'm actually gonna open up my standings and real quick.
We are hearing word that there will be no interview tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
No interview tonight.
All right,
So.
works for me. So then I guess let's move on to next week. So also Pixel Titans are 3-0 now, so they won as well.
Oh
So
wow, okay.
next week is week 5. That is I guess I could go to the other place and look actually.
BCSS versus TB, which is
Being
drum roll,
Chillers versus
please.
Team Beacon.
Yep. So that is Team Beacon is currently 0-2. We'll see if they get to win their matchup. BCSS is currently fighting for that top spot. They're 2-1. Still 2 lossless teams actually in Div A. 3-0 and 2-0. So same thing of what we just saw in Div D. Mythos and PT are both undefeated, both 3-0.
Yep.
So actually, yeah, a lot of undefeated teams still remain. And I mean, we'll see if that changes. But yeah, going into next week, BCSS are gonna try and keep their seed 1 hopes alive going into week 5.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at last week's stats too. So we were gonna do the Party Dads game, and they unfortunately lost.
Yes.
So unlucky. I was gunning for them too. I was thinking they were gonna 2-0, but next week should be spicy. We haven't seen Bing Chillings play as of yet, or Team Beacon, but according to the stats that as we have seen, we have some spots being defended for and spots trying to actually get a starting on. So that should do it for us. I think it's VCT time, at least for me. It is. So.
Yeah.
100% VCT time.
It might be go losing solo queue time for me, but it might also be VCT time because it's Sentinels, so I kind of have to.
Yeah, it's true. They are currently losing right now, so
yeah, and I'm crying in the background, crying in the club.
Alrighty, well, that will do it for our stream today. We will be glad to see you back, the 3 of us, next week, as long as Riot does not break their game again.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That again.